Hi, I'm Jason Rosenblum. I'm an intellectual property attorney, and in this series I'm going to be talking about some IP basics. In this one we'll talk about the difference between an entity and a trademark, because they're not the same. So a business entity is actually a legal entity. You form it with your state, and it separates the owners, which could be an individual or a few individuals or another entity, from that entity. It's filed with the state. Most states just do a very cursory review to make sure that the paperwork that's filed is proper, the fees are paid. It's not examined, which a trademark is, and we'll discuss that later on. Business entity allows you to open a bank account, obtain credit cards in the business name. You actually build up credit in that name, and you're able to enter into contracts, leases, mortgages, just like you would as an individual. Most forms will require you to pay taxes. You can speak to your accountant or tax preparer to figure out actually what entity, whether it's LLC, corporation, S-Corp, C-Corp, is the best for you. As I noted before, these protect you, the owners, from liability, and in most states, it's really just a procedural check. Whereas a trademark is all about source identification. Where are these goods or services coming from, and who's the source? You know, when you see the Nike swoosh or the slogan, "Just do it," you know that that's from Nike, and you expect a certain type of product quality based on that. Trademarks can be filed either with the state or federal government, but 99% of the trademarks we file these days are with the federal government, because most clients are selling online and to multiple states. And the federal trademark gives you protection over the whole U.S., not just the state that you file in. It's used to prevent others from trying to rip off your product or service, also known as counterfeiting. For a U.S. registration, you must actually use the brand in the U.S., meaning that you actually have to have sales in connection with that brand. Whereas an entity, you can open the entity, and as long as you keep up with whatever the paperwork is and fees that state requires, you can always have that entity open. But for a trademark registration, you need to continually use it. You need to use it in order to obtain the registration, and then you also need to continue to use it to maintain that registration. And there's different documents that need to be provided to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to show them that. A trademark registry application is actually examined by an examining attorney for a number of different reasons. One of them is to make sure that your mark is not too similar to another's trademark. And also, third parties have a chance to oppose your application. Once you get past the examining attorney, it's published for any third party to oppose it, also for a number of reasons. The most common is because that opposer feels it's too similar to a trademark they're using, and consumers would be confused. Registrations, once you have one, you can use it to sue infringers, but you can also use it to file complaints with numerous websites and have that infringer removed. Sites such as Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Shopify. If you believe someone's infringing on your trademark, you can always have them take it down. And just to show you an example of the difference between, let's get my website straight here. In New York, if you filed for Bragg, which was something that we had used in an earlier video example for searches, you can see just minor differences allow someone to obtain an LLC under the name Bragg just by adding the word media or on. You can do that. Whereas for a trademark, that little addition might not be enough, because it's all about likelihood of confusion. It would depend upon what these two companies are selling, what type of service, what type of product, and who their clientele is. So that's just some of the differences between the two. I'm Jason Rosenblum, intellectual property attorney, protecting my clients' products, brands, and businesses from getting ripped off. You can reach out to us at 888-666-0062.